So, folks, the other day I spoke to one of my friends who lost his family member because of COVID-19. And to my surprise, I felt that guy was not emotional at all due to the loss of their family member. But I was introspecting what has happened. What could be the reason why he's not so emotional? Initially, I thought maybe he's not having good relationship with his family members. But having retrospected, I found that he's emotionally strong. And I've done further research around this topic about being mentally resilient and mentally tough. And I found my friend is very, very strong mentally and he's emotionally resilient. Hello. Hi there. Welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, The Guiding Voice for a Better Future. This podcast is to help professional students, IT employees, and entrepreneurs to shape their careers. Dear listeners, in every episode, we interact with industry experts, or academicians, or leaders, or coaches across the globe to drive some insightful conversations that will help each one of you learn great things. Also, we share an interesting trivia or a fun fact about the IT world or technology towards the end. So stay tuned until the end. So thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and with my co-host Sudhakar. So folks, as mentioned in the introduction, today we are going to discuss most unspoken about but extremely relevant topic in these uncertain times, which is resilience and mental toughness. And we are pleased to welcome Umaa to our show.
Umaa Arun has been an entrepreneur for the last 3 decades. She likes to call herself a multipotentialite as she has a wide range of interests and beliefs that, like her, anyone can unlock and unleash their potential and explore varied possibilities in their respective lives. Her entrepreneurship journey began with a joint venture with her husband in car rentals in the 90s. They were instrumental in bringing about professionalism in this unorganized sector, and their company remained amongst the top 3 in Delhi-NCR region for more than 22 years. She moved on to work with small, medium enterprises, facilitating as a soft skills trainer. Umaa's purpose to be able to make an impactful difference became the driver to move into coaching, and this led her to become certified as a life coach, as an NLP practitioner, a cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner, and emotional intelligence practitioner, a career and business coach, and also a woman empowerment coach. Umaa is also a proud mom to 3 grown-ups and a pet parent too. Currently, Umaa is enjoying empowering people while simultaneously pursuing her master's in psychology and skilling herself in modern applied psychology. Umaa, thanks for taking time. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Naveen and Sudhakar, for giving me this opportunity to share some thoughts on the Guiding Voice.
So, Umaa, can we talk briefly about why you have chosen to become a coach and what do you like the most about your current role? Because you have been playing so many roles all through.
Yes. So I asked myself a similar question when I shifted from training to coaching. So for me, being the channel to bring about transformational and empowering changes in someone's life actually is an impactful and powerful responsibility. And that for me is extremely meaningful. And when I see the empowered 2.0 versions of my clients, that's a joyous reward. Also, when I'm able to make such a difference in someone's life, that is equally humbling and fulfilling. Now, what I enjoy about being a coach is the continuous challenge that my work brings to raise my awareness, to explore the multiple facets of human behavior, to understand why do people do what they do, to help people rescript their life stories and raise their standards. I really enjoy doing that. And of course, I also enjoy the ongoing upskilling to keep adding more value to my work.
Excellent. So you talked about exploring the multiple facets of human behavior, and one topic that Naveen introduced is about resilience, and that amazing example of how his friend was able to cope up with the loss that he had to go through. At the same time, how he was able to be in a composed state and be in resilient mode. So how do you define resilience, Umaa? What are the key attributes?
Actually, you've already defined resilience, so I can just put them in different words. So resilience is the ability to withstand adversity and, like your friend, bounce back. So it's like bounce back and still grow despite life's downturns. So it's like persistently working through life's difficult problems, where you accept and you adapt to the new reality that is coming along, and you don't get reduced by the adversities. Resilience can also be where you know that you're the only one that has the power and responsibility to pick yourself up. If you look around towards nature has inbuilt resilience, and that's why you see that the natural ecosystems, they recover much faster from disruptions. And furthermore, when you or anybody challenges themselves to overcome their fears, their anxieties, you become more resilient. And as a coach, I can just add that it's very useful for people to know that resilience is also one quality that can be learned and can be strengthened. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. When it comes to the nature example that you gave with regard to resilience, that is a true reflection, right? Yeah. If you observe the seasons as well, like once we feel extreme hot, it follows the rainy season in India, tropical country like India. And after that, it follows the winter. Right. And if you observe the life cycle of a tree or something, right, soon after the leaves get mature and they fall from the tree, the new ones start surfacing. Right. So, that's a perfect example. Uma, thanks for sharing that. We could easily relate to the topic. And now talking about the second topic, right, the second part, like what is mental toughness?
Mental toughness goes by various names like grit, perseverance, inner fire. All these are various names that describe the capacity of an individual to deal effectively with pressures and challenges. And originally, mental toughness actually has its origin in sports psychology. It used to be, the term was coined as mental hardiness by a psychologist during that time. Because if you will see this term widely spoken in sports psychology. It's psychologically, it's also defined as having a natural or a psychological edge to be more consistent, to be more focused, determined and confident in the face of adversity, irrespective of what the circumstances are. You'll find amazing examples in the sports world. And an individual is called as mentally tough when they use this adversity or challenge that they face as their own personal superpower to carve a successful path in their life, a path which is also functional for them. And if you see around, for most mentally tough individuals, actually these challenges are what make their life more interesting, and overcoming them makes their life more meaningful. So you will see whether it's Roger Federer or whether it's Michael Jordan or whoever is Michael Phelps, and there are many more right in our history and mythology. Everywhere you will find in real life, there's so many mentally tough individuals, because these challenges are what they really take up to make their life more meaningful.
Yeah. So you mentioned about some of the famous sports personalities. It also reminds me of Imran Khan, the current Prime Minister of Pakistan, the erstwhile captain, right? He used to be one of the mentally tough guy, chasing his team and making sure everybody is in his terms and all, right? So a great example over there. Yeah. Now let us try to bridge both the topics, like the resilience on one side and the mental toughness, and how are they related?
So the resilience and mental toughness are closely related, yet they're not technically identical. So colloquially, they are referred together, but if you look at them as concepts, they're different concepts. So let me try to explain in a little more simpler manner as much as I can. So a resilient person adapts well in the face of adversity, like your friend did, bounces back from difficult experiences, and they also accept change and they are flexible. And as psychologists state, resilience is actually very much a learned pattern of thoughts, feelings, and behavior. And resilience is commonly considered a process. So it's like an ongoing thing. On the other hand, the concept of mental toughness is actually identified as a personality trait, a trait with an optimistic mindset that promotes emotional resilience, like you spoke about your friend who's being very emotionally resilient. So, but like resilience, mental toughness is also an experiential learning, mostly built from early life experiences. I think the difference between both resilience and mental toughness is the positive component. Like mental toughness, you can describe it as resilience plus positivity. So where on one hand, resilience embodies preparatory and protective factors to deal with adversity. You can say that mental toughness is more concerned with a person's personal attributes, which includes more of optimism and positivity in the way that they will appraise and approach adversity. And what's similar in both resilience and mental toughness is that they are learnable and very often also teachable. So what I can say is that whichever concept that you side with, both the resilient and mentally tough individual would experience positive changes in life. They will grow through their struggles. They will have an improved response flexibility and also a great adaptability to the dynamic and complex environment. And these are highly useful capacities or qualities to nurture. We can say that COVID-19 actually has made loads and loads of us resilient, and you can see examples all around you. So I would just want to say, like the wise people say, resilient and mentally tough individuals grow through what they go through in life.
Wow. One positive thing that I took from this answer is you picked on this component that both are learnable and teachable, which is really positive, right, Uma? So I don't need to worry that, some X is more resilient or more tough mentally than me. That means if I have some determination and the other word that you used, grit and perseverance, you can be little more robust in both being resilient and also on the mental toughness standpoint.
Yeah, very well put, Sudhakar.
So, Uma, how does mental toughness look like in real life? You picked some examples like Roger Federer, Michael Phelps, and Naveen introduced Imran Khan. So, how does this mental toughness look like?
So mental toughness is actually very individual. So it's like what I think is difficult versus what you think is difficult are very different. So it makes the definitions very subjective. And if you just maybe Google these sports personalities or any other personalities who you consider as mentally tough, you will actually see a common thread going on between these people. And for the common people, this quality can show up in various forms in real life. I'll just give you some very basic examples which I think most of us as average human beings can relate to. When someone says no to an addiction or to a bad habit, that's being tough. When you do that extra rep in the gym, and especially when you've done a difficult workout. Most of us have seen grief and loss for our loved ones in this pandemic. And if you being the pillar or rock in these times of grief and loss for your loved ones, you're actually showing mental strength. When people apply for just one more job, even when your 100 applications were sent and maybe rejected, you still got up and said, no, I will just do that. And when someone's commitment to their practice routine is still ongoing despite losing matches in a row, that shows that someone is being mentally tough. And if you were an aspiring author, you still sit down to write that book you wanted to write in spite of so many of your close people mocking at you that no, you can't, but then you take a stance, no, I will, and I will sit and write that book. And if any one of you tested COVID positive or gone through pains and sicknesses, you see, when you can maintain your presence of mind during that time, that's a great example. Or when you work on a challenging goal, even when you lack motivation. And I really tell you, so many times I have actually personally experienced quite a few of them. There are goals which are challenging and you really lack motivation, but when you still get up and go for it, that's mental toughness. When you're crying and you wipe your tears and then you still show up at your workplace for that important meeting, these are all examples that mental toughness shows up in real life. And I'm sure there are many similar examples in people's life. And like your friend, you spoke about emotional resilience. Yes, mental toughness also shows up when someone or one can actually not only regulate their emotions, but also be less distracted by the emotions of others. That is also another example of mental toughness. So all I can say is that for these gritty individuals, their goals and visions have much more significance than their physical pains and mental and emotional chaos. Mentally strong individuals do not give up. They always show up no matter what. One of my favorite phrases.
That's so amazing and so inspiring, Uma. And I'm sure after listening to this conversation, many of our audience would want to build up a notch or two above their current level to be more resilient and more mentally tough. So how does one build or develop this mental strength? What is the first step that we can start in that direction to be more resilient and more tough?
Sudhakar, see, mental strength does not happen overnight. So it's something like, you actually have to incorporate your mental fitness early on in your life. Very similar to your physical fitness. You just can't build muscles or be that kind of having a great body in just instances. You really have to work on it day on day, day on day, day on day. It's exactly similar. So you have to keep regularly flexing your mental toughness muscles. So there are many approaches to build mental strength. So let me talk about a few that would be helpful to incorporate in your life. How about, you said first step. So let's do the first step with the most easiest, but actually very, very powerful exercise, which is you start by practicing deep, controlled and rhythmic breathing exercises. Now, these exercises will actually help you have better control over your emotional and cognitive responses. They will calm you down. They will help you take control of the decisions that you make. Next step, you can cultivate an attitude of gratitude, which has been spoken about a lot during this pandemic, and actually it is very impactful. We need to start looking for those hidden yet positive silver lining in the crisis that comes. Try to avoid seeing your challenges as insurmountable problems. So what can you do instead? Do your best to look forward to a better future. When I say do your best, actually, it's going to be hard, but it's not impossible. Another strong component which I would like to state is that right from early on, please try to cultivate healthy, strong, loving, supportive connections and relationships. And I can't actually emphasize less on this. I need to emphasize a lot on these relationships, supporting connections, because they tend to become your anchor of the hour in these difficult times. So please be open to reach out and let your loved ones in to support you too. And to add on, there's an important suggestion which I would like to add on, which is however difficult it might be, please take care of yourself physically and emotionally, because like we all know, a healthy body and mind is definitely helpful to deal with the crisis. Another important point is please resist the blame game. We see that so many people, whenever you go through a challenge or crisis, there is no dearth of blaming the environment, blaming XYZ person, blaming everyone else, apart from taking a whole soul ownership of what has happened. So please resist the blame game. Instead, just accept that life's ups and downs are real. This is what life is all about. And please use this opportunity as a self-discovery time and try to nurture self-confidence by being hopeful for a better future, by being realistically optimistic. So don't be like no false optimisms. It's a realistic optimism that I'm talking about. And like you said, Sudhakar, these trying times require more clarity of direction, and they definitely require decisive action. So I would suggest that set some realistic micro goals and take action, however small it might be. You yourself just said about small step, a first step. So continue taking that small action. It's just that you just need to keep moving forward. Move forward. Just pause to recharge. Recharging is extremely important because some people just go on and then they burn out. So don't do that. Move forward. Pause to recharge. Go on, try again. Build an ongoing momentum. And why do I say build an ongoing momentum is because there are always some weak and fatigued moments when you can get sucked back into your unhealthy zones. And we all know that hard times are an inevitable part of life. We are seeing that today. So when you reframe your perspectives, when you focus on the positive, you tend to fare much better. And it's beneficial to understand the difference between what we can control and what's beyond our control. And I'm mentioning so many of them as the way I've experienced it personally. So I hope this helps.
Absolutely, Uma. You mentioned about tough times do not last and tough times are inevitable. But I would like to extend, nothing is permanent. Be it the good moment or the bad moment, it's all about how we bounce back. And one thing that stays with me is about building a positive ecosystem around us. first of all, be strong yourself and try to flex your mind similar to how we flex our muscles. And second thing is have a strong ecosystem which is going to support you when you need it the most. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing these insights. So the conversation has been very serious. Like we have been talking a lot of professional stuff. So we would like to look at other side of Uma to bring some fun element to this conversation. And are you ready for a quick rapid fire round?
Oh, wow. Yes, sure. I hope it's not too heavy.
Yeah, definitely. So here I'm going to ask you a few questions and you can respond to them very, very crisply. Like one word statement is also fine. All right?
That's not going to be too easy for a coach with my one.
That's a much good.
So here comes the first bullet of the rapid fire round. Staying alone or being social? Which suits you the most, Uma?
Actually, a bit of both. I enjoy my me time and I enjoy my time with my loved ones.
Bang on. Second one, are you a perfectionist or a control freak?
Neither. Actually been in these spaces long time ago in my past and they're extremely stressful. I just believe what is good enough is just good enough. Do your best whatever moment.
Let me put a very strong one here. Which object would you compare Uma with?
Actually, that's such a slippery question. Can I give you two objects?
Absolutely, go ahead.
So one would be a lamp for me because it guides people from darkness or confusion towards light or clarity, which is what I do. And the other would be a bottle of wine. Now, don't ask me because, the matured ones are rich, flavorful and
Superb. All right, so here comes the next one. Which musical instrument do you want to learn, if at all you are given a chance?
Yeah, so that's a hands-on piano for me because I've been wanting to learn that instrument for long because of the music it makes, the pianist. It's so classic romanticism and charm.
Awesome. So Uma, you have now become a coach. Like you have seen your entrepreneur side and you have been into multiple paths. And right now you are a coach. So what have you dreamt of becoming in the future during your childhood?
Multipotentialite person had many dreams. It'll be like I wanted to be an air hostess, astronaut, ambassador, diplomat. I think it just stems from my love to see the world in all its shades. Though I'm neither now.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so here comes the last one for the rapid fire. If you were given a chance to change something in the past, what would it be?
I've reflected actually on this question many times during my own coaching skilling, and what I actually figured out is that maybe I know why I took some decisions and maybe I don't know some of my whys, but all my past decisions, everything has led me to be where I am today. And I'm just absolutely fine with that. Just absolutely fine. And that's all that matters to me.
Wonderful. Thank you for the wonderful answers as part of the rapid fire round. And thanks for being so sport. Over to you, Sudhakar.
So Uma, that has been an amazing rapid fire. Some were very slippery, like you said. So Uma, one final question for this session. What is your one piece of advice for those who are aspiring to make big in their life and careers?
So like you would have known by now, I can't do with that one tiny thing. My advice is in plural. So it's like, I want to tell you, each day provides us with an opportunity to change, to redirect our course and to do some greater good. So choose your directions and choose your attitudes wisely. Believe in yourself. Learn to let go a little. Let life happen. Go build some authentic real life connections, which is really, really important for today's generation. Go reach out to help others and definitely cultivate an attitude of gratitude. And I would like to wrap this advice with the Bruce Lee quote, if I may. I quote, "If you always put limits on everything that you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life." So he says there are no limits. There are only plateaus and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. Unquote. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Uma. This last 30 minutes have been amazing. There are many things that will stay with me, but I want to call out a couple of them that I made note of already. Let life happen and there are no limits. And there are 3 points that I made note of. One, on resilience and mental toughness, both are learnable and teachable. So don't feel bad that someone who is so blessed can only be, tougher and having that strength. No, it is something that you can learn, which is really positive.
Yes.
So the second thing is about having those micro goals so that you can get into that agile methodology and, keep reviving yourself for better goals. And the last point is, I think, 3A, 3B. One is about start having practice this breathing exercises, and second thing, have a gratitude, a life with full of gratitude. Look for that positive, I think you used the word silver lining, your
Yes.
every experience of life. Thank you so much for taking your time today. We really appreciate you spending this half an hour with us. I'm sure our audience are going to love this overall podcast.
Thank you so very much for giving this opportunity and giving me the space to share my thoughts on such a relevant topic. Mental health, mental strength. This is the time, the need of the hour, I can say. We all actually need to be mentally tough and resilient to take us through these uncertain times. Like we all know, this is a volatile, uncertain, ambiguous environment. And yes, we definitely, these qualities, we need to nurture these habits. So thank you so very much.
Thanks again. Pleasure hosting you, Uma.
Pleasure being here.
And folks, if you have liked this episode, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues for whom you care for. Because the Guiding Voice podcast series is a purely not-for-profit venture, and our team puts in a lot of effort to bring the best conversations to all our listeners. And our purpose is very clear. We want to provide curated guidance to all the professional students out there, be it from engineering, B schools, and all the IT employees and entrepreneurs, so that all of you can make informed decisions based on the insights that are driven by the industry experts, coaches, leaders, or academicians across the globe. Because if you share this with your friends, it helps them also learn great insights from every episode. Or if you're listening to the Guiding Voice podcast on the Apple podcast, please do not forget to leave a review and a 5-star rating, because every rating will help us expand our reach and contribute to our mission to shape the careers and lives of millions of people across the globe. And if you are watching the episode on YouTube, please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. And last but not the least, I want to reiterate, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues. Thank you so much in advance. Alright, so it brings us to the trivia segment of today's episode. And today's trivia is about Amazon Kindle. Imagine a life without Kindle. For those voracious and ardent readers out there, especially when they are traveling. Maybe it would have been difficult carrying those loads of books. But now, everything is wrapped in a single device. You can carry thousands of books just with a single device. But talking about history of this Kindle, the Kindle price has been very huge when it was launched for the first time in 2007. But now the price has come down significantly, and there is even a talk that the Kindle could be free one day, because Amazon is making a lot of money on ads and book sales. You never know, it might come free with a 1-year subscription or 2-year subscription in future. But here comes the trivia question. Do you know how much did the original Kindle sell for? Alright, you may be thinking, folks, but let me reveal the answer as per the ritual. The original Kindle, which was launched for the first time in 2007, was sold for $399. Whopping, isn't it? Thank you for listening. There is more in store, folks. Stay tuned. Take care. Be safe. Until next time, bye-bye. And we are signing off for today.